Top 5 best investments you can make with your money in 2019. That's what we're talking about here today, guys. We're gonna go from number 5 all the way down to number 1. I'm gonna share with you, in my opinion, what your best investment options are out there in 2019, guys. I'm not only gonna tell you them, but I'm gonna go into detail on why I believe those are the best options. So I hope you guys enjoy this as always, and make sure you're doing your own due diligence, you're doing your own research work before you invest into anything, okay? As always, all right? Today's video is sponsored by my Becoming Master of the Stock Market course that will teach you exactly how to pick stocks successfully and make money not only from dividends, but also making money from stocks overall over time, all right? We got a flash sale going on in that course right now. It is, I believe, 70% off, so go ahead and take advantage of that, guys. Coming in at number 5 is good old real estate, okay? Real estate investing, or just buying a property in general. Why is this? Well, there are many, many reasons why real estate investing is still a great opportunity, and you can make a good amount of money over time with this, okay? One, prices have weakened quite a bit the past 9 months. What we saw is in 2018, the first half of 2018 was pretty strong for real estate moving and just prices in general. And then all of a sudden we started getting close to summertime and prices started to weaken and weaken and weaken across many, many markets. And so a lot of these homes have been stagnant, which means a lot of these people that are going to sell their homes are now getting to be desperate. I'm seeing it across the board, price cut after price cut by a lot of people out there, meaning you can probably get a home for maybe $20,000, maybe $50,000, maybe even $100,000 cheaper, depending on your price brackets, than what you would have had to pay just like, let's say, a year ago at this time, okay? So that is definitely a good thing for you as someone that's looking to buy property. Number 2, some markets are still not even back to their 2007 highs, okay? A lot of homes that sold in markets like Las Vegas, for instance, or out in Phoenix, Arizona, some of those markets, and a few other markets around the United States, a lot of those properties still aren't even back to where they were selling at in 2005, 2006, 2007. You can look at price history on a lot of these properties. They're still not even back there, okay? That's something to take into account. Also, millennials are just starting to buy homes, okay? Keep in mind that if you're a millennial and you've bought a home, you're in the minority. Most millennials still haven't even bought homes. They likely will buy homes, okay? The reason millennials haven't bought any homes is not just because they don't want to buy a home in general or something like that, mainly because we got to remember the millennial generation, they spent their late teen years or their 20s and they got hit with a huge recession. The 2007 through 2009 recession was massive, and that really spilled over even into 2010, 2011, 2012. And so the millennials just kind of got hit by that at the time when they were just kind of coming on the come up, into the game of money and whatnot. And they just got hit by that, and it just hurt a lot of their careers, it hurt a lot of their money making opportunities, and just kind of mentally as far as money goes and whatnot. So for millennials, they're just starting to get to a place where they can actually afford to actually have a home and things like that, and have actually started saving money and whatnot. So that is a good thing. But let's just play devil's advocate. Let's say millennials are the first generation in the United States of America that never is interested in buying homes. They would be the first, okay? This has never happened before. But let's just say millennials never want to buy homes. Well, guess what? That means they will always be a renter, okay? That means they will always rent. If they're not going to buy homes, then they will always rent, and you can make rental income from that, okay? You can buy a property and rent it out, and hey, guess what? If none of the millennials ever want to buy homes, you're going to just be able to increase that rental income more and more over time, as we've seen from a lot of people who actually, real estate invest. They've been able to get, higher and higher prices over time from a lot of their rentees, let's put it that way, okay? And also, new homes are a fortune. If you're looking for a new home, they are at a massive premium right now. I used to be an investor in Toll Brothers, for instance, and they would talk about in the conference calls how right now, new homes, for instance, you're talking about you're paying the most premium versus used homes than we've pretty much ever had in the United States of America. It is a massive, massive difference. So if somebody's looking to go buy a new home right now, they're just finding that these homes are really, really expensive, especially after you get the upgrades done, you get that lot premium and things like that. It's a massive, massive premium, okay? So real estate in 2019 is still a very good investment. That's why it comes in at number 5. Let's get into number 4. Alrighty, guys, the number 4 best investment you can make with your money in 2019 is a stock market S&P 500 index fund, all right? This one will usually be a spot or two higher on the list, a little bit better. The stock market is not a great deal right now, in my personal opinion overall, but it's still a decent deal. It's still decent. I wouldn't say the stock market is necessarily way overvalued or anything like that, but at the same time, I wouldn't say, oh my gosh, the stock market is so unbelievably cheap right now. now. We're pretty close to all-time highs. We're only about 1,000 points or so off of the Dow all-time high. So it's a decent deal if you look at PE ratios and whatnot. It's just not a great deal, all right? Let's keep that in mind. But needless to say, you're almost 100% guaranteed you're going to 2x your money basically every 10 years, and a lot of times even less than 10 years. It's usually about a 7 or 8 year span. If you just look at history, S&P 500, you're pretty much going to, most times, going to double your money, if not more than double your money, about every 10 years. There are going to be times when there's a recession or something, and your wealth will go down in the short term, okay? But guess what? Things end up bouncing back, and so it's like literally almost a guaranteed way of like 2xing your money basically every 10 years, or sometimes even less than 10 years, okay? And right now, if we like fast forward 10 years and we go to 2029, I can guarantee you we'll probably at least had one recession, if not two, during that 10-year time period, but you'll still have at least probably doubled your money over that time, okay? That's just the way it works. You're also very diversified, so let's keep in mind if you buy something like a real estate property, maybe you can afford one property, maybe two properties. You're not very diversified. You might only be in one market. S&P 500 index fund, you're going to be diversified across a ton of different businesses from a ton of different industries. You're pretty much as diversified as you can possibly be with your wealth, okay? So that's obviously a very good thing. And as American business prospers, you're going to also prosper. As American businesses become more and more profitable, you're going to become more and more profitable. Those stocks are going to likely go up and up and up. As we've seen over the past decades, stocks have become more and more profitable. These companies become more and more profitable. What ends up happening, their stock prices go up, and who ends up making money? The investors of those companies, okay? And basically, this is like the laziest option for anybody out there, that you're pretty much guaranteed to make a lot of money over a 10, 20, 30, 40 year span. And it's literally no work. Like you can just invest in like a Fidelity S&P 500 index fund or a Vanguard one or something like that. It's basically no work for you. You put the money in there, and it's basically over time you just make money for the most part. Like I said, every once in a while there'll be a recession, there'll be a stock market crash. You'll have to go down on your wealth, but guess what? Things bounce back, and you end up making money over time, okay? That's why that one's number 4. Let's get into number 3. Alrighty guys, the number 3 best investment you can make with your money in 2019, in my personal opinion, you can make an argument that maybe this isn't really even an investment because it's basically no risk. And that is basically putting your money in a high yield savings account, okay? Something that gets at least 2% plus as far as a savings rate, all right? I call it 2019 a stack cash year, okay? Why is this stack cash year? Well, my opinion on this is I think there's a decent probability we could have a recession at some point in 2020, okay? Meaning basically asset prices would go down and down and down. Now, I'm not 100% certain of this. If I was 100% certain or even close to 100% certain that we would have a recession in 2020, I would be selling off all my stocks right now, and I'm not doing that. However, what I am doing is I am hedging quite a bit because I am stacking cash right now, and I'm not putting nearly as much money towards stocks as I could. I'm putting a lot more money toward cash right now, okay? More money than I've ever put historically toward cash. That's basically what I am doing right now, okay? And so I think this is just a great option for you. Put your money in a savings account. You can do something like Ally Bank. They have like a 2.2% rate you can get on your money. Goldman Sachs has something in the Marcus account or something like that. I think you get like 2.32 or 2.35 or something like that. You could set up with somebody like that, more of an online type platform that's FDIC insured up to like $250,000. So it's basically no risk as far as your money goes. Your cash will keep up with inflation pretty much. Like you could always expect inflation to be usually in most situations like 2 to 3%. You make 2-something% on your money, you're kind of keeping up with inflation, which is a good thing. That's kind of one of the advantages versus let's just say you keep your money literally in cash, or you keep money in just a checking account where it doesn't get you anything. Then you're actually losing money literally because everything else gets more expensive over time. You're making nothing on your money, okay? And the other great thing about a high yield savings account, you have access to it whenever. So if the stock market dips huge, if real estate prices dip huge, you want that money, you need that money. In a savings account, you can basically get it out and you don't have any penalties versus something like a CD account, which maybe you can get upwards of a 3% or 4% on a CD account. But the problem is, a lot of times if you pull out that money early, you get a bunch of penalties that really kill what you had gained on that CD account overall, okay? So in my opinion, as far as 2019 goes, the third best option you can possibly do with your money is just stick it in a high yield savings account, all right? Let's get into number 2. The number 2 best way to invest your money in 2019, in my personal opinion, is individual stock market investing, individual stock picking individual stocks that you want to put your money in and investing in those companies for the long term. term, meaning you're thinking years out with these companies, not you're trying to trade them for a quick buck here and there or something like that. Like, you're investing in these companies because you've researched them fully, you believe in them a lot for the long term, you feel they're at a fair valuation, okay? Why is this a great opportunity still in 2019? Well, there are many stocks that are overvalued right now, okay? There are many stocks in the stock market that are just plain overvalued in my personal opinion. However, there's still a lot of stocks out there that are undervalued companies, okay? That you have the opportunity to invest in these companies at what would be undervalued prices. Now, some of these companies you might not fully understand. They might not be in your circle of competence, which means essentially you can't invest them, okay? You always want to invest in things you can fully understand. But I can almost guarantee you're going to find at least a few stocks in the stock market. You start looking through the S&P 500 that you understand fully, you believe are undervalued quite significantly compared to where they should be at and whatnot, and their long-term growth. And you're going to find some companies, okay? So there are many stocks that are still undervalued even in 2019. You get a chance to build wealth in a massive way over the long term, thinking out years, okay? In picking individual stocks, you have the chance to make gains of 10% per year, 20% per year, maybe even more than 20% per year, which is not possible really in anything else, okay? In a savings account, obviously, you're gonna get 2-something%. There's obviously no risk in a savings account, which is great. Stocks are risk. You can obviously lose money in them, but you're never gonna have the opportunity to make the type of gains in a real estate or putting your money in a savings account or anything pretty much across the board like you do in stock picking. The next best thing to stock picking is probably like starting a business in terms of giving you the best chance to really increase your wealth dramatically over the course of decades and decades, all right? Now, you can make your money two ways in the stock market. One is you can collect dividends. You can invest in companies that only pay dividends and generally show the track history that they increase those dividends each and every year. So basically, every quarter, every 3 months, you get those dividends paid out to you, and then you go ahead and reinvest those dividends back into other stocks, and you kind of just keep building that way. Or you can basically get capital gains that basically those shares went up over time because probably the market went up over time, because the stock market always goes up over the long term, okay? And number two, sometimes just those companies become a lot more valuable because they start bringing in a lot more profits and they were already undervalued, and so sooner or later the market starts to figure it out. Hedge funds start to figure out, mutual funds start looking at this company like, they're very undervalued, let's start buying that stock as well. The price ends up going up, okay? Only thing I would say is make sure you're staying diversified. Depending on your wealth, it's kind of usually how you want to diversify. If you don't have much money in general, you can probably have 5 stocks, something like that, 4 or 5 stocks. If you've got a lot of money in individual stocks, then you might want to go up to as much as like 12 stocks, obviously, because if you have a significant portion of money and most of your wealth, let's say, is tied up in individual stocks, you might want to get up to maybe even like something like 12 stocks. You want to stay diversified, gives you a lot better opportunity out there, and it makes you sleep better at night, all right? That one comes in at number 2, which is a question. What comes in at number 1? The number 1 best investment you can make in 2019 and pretty much every year into the future is always investing in yourself, learning more about money-related things that are going to help you make a lot more money. I spend a lot of money each and every year learning new tactics, hiring other people to teach me other tactics and things like that on basically how to make more money out there, how to do things better and better. And that is a very much a key thing if you want to get to the next level. Everybody who's done anything successful in this world has learned a lot from other people teaching them things, okay? Not just learning by yourself, just magically learning. It's also because someone else told me this and it was like, oh, that's a good tip for that, okay? So a lot of people think like if you're talking about learning about money stuff, they think about, oh, you have to go to college for that. No, not necessarily. If you have a specific plan, go to college, okay? If you have a specific plan, you have a specific degree you want to get that you know is going to help you make more money, then college is for you. But for most people, in my opinion, it's not the way to go, okay? We could do things like books, buying books, or even you can go to your local library. There's a lot of books there. Obviously, there's almost a limited amount compared to what you can get on Amazon or something like that. Books is an option. Online courses is an option you can learn from. Seminars, one-on-one consulting with people that have been proven and have had success in whatever you're trying to learn about, okay? If you're trying to learn about real estate investing, Amazon selling, drop shipping, stock market investing, business to business selling, business to consumer selling, doesn't matter what you're trying to do. Wherever you're trying to make money, there's a million different ways in this world to make money, okay? It's up to you to figure out those ways on what makes sense for you to try to make money and where you want to attack, okay? It's different for every people. For me personally, I'm not into Amazon selling. I'm not into drop shipping or whatnot. I used to have a business to business selling business. I'm not interested in that anymore. For me nowadays, I just do stock market investing and I I pretty much just do social media related things. That's my thing. But you might have a million other things you want to do out there. But always the best investment you can make is yourself, okay? That you know, whatever it is, whether it's, you know, buying $50 worth of books or buying an online course or paying somebody that you know is successful in a specific area for their one-on-one consulting in that, or, you know, you want to be an Amazon seller, learn from somebody that's, you know, been a successful Amazon seller and you know they've been successful and whatnot, not just like they just put ads all over the place or something like that. Like we know a lot of those people, right? That, you know, come on the ads all the time and it's like, oh yeah, look at my new Lamborghini, I just bought that. You know, I'd be a little wary of some of those folks, but there are tons of people that literally are making a lot of money from Amazon every single month, have been doing it for years, and they do have products or consulting products that you can contact them and say, they'll be like, yeah, I'll spend some time with you, pay me a certain amount of money and I'll teach you what I know about Amazon and whatnot, okay? That's the best investment you can make, and that's always going to be the best investment because that's going to help propel you in a lot faster way than doing a lot of other things out there, guys, and kind of just throwing your money at something and hoping and praying or something like that. All right, guys? So I hope you enjoy this. As always, let me know what your opinion is down there in that comment section. As always, thank you for watching and have a great day.